Good morning, Lansing. Happy Friday. It is Friday, June 11, and Josh and I are here again with another Friday Roundup.
That's right. Good morning, Lansing.
Josh, today's big news is Phase 5.
Phase 5. We are finally here. High five, Lansing. We are finally at Phase 5. We've been looking forward to this for quite some time. So Phase 5 essentially means for vaccinated people, you don't have to wear your mask with a few exceptions. So if you're vaccinated, those few exceptions are if you're going to a local business that will require you to wear a mask, you still have to do so, or any sort of state or federal or local area that will mandate that you wear a mask. Also, if you're going to a healthcare setting, or if you're going to be taking a plane ride or a train ride or go to an airport like that, you'll still be asked to wear your mask. But otherwise,
That makes sense.
that's right, that makes sense. Otherwise, vaccinated people are good to go. You're ready to breathe free and clear again. Yeah.
Just in time for summer.
Just in time for summer, right as those masks get really hot on your face. I know.
Congratulations on that, Lansing. It feels good to be where we are now.
Yeah.
And I want to take advantage of this milestone to just make the point that it is so important to have a community newspaper. The Lansing Journal did not shut down at all during COVID. In fact, we reported more news, more stories, more information, because we knew how important it was to get facts to people, especially during quarantine when people were stuck inside. We were not. We were outside, we were at meetings, we were gathering information and bringing it back so that our subscribers could have that information.
Yeah.
I mean, we delivered the governor's messages to people.
That's right.
And information from the Illinois Department of Public Health and CDC. But we also reported the local impacts on our businesses, our restaurants, the creative ways churches were dealing with the pandemic. So all of that local news was just so important during the past year and a half.
That's right.
COVID did impact the Lansing Journal. You were talking last week about Carrie Steinweg, who actually got COVID and is still dealing with recovery. So that was a big impact. And our other journalists too. Some of them are in vulnerable populations themselves, or they have family members who are vulnerable, and so they had to limit their exposure, and that limited the kind of work they could do. But they remained committed, and they figured out ways to report via phone or via Zoom, because they knew that the news is important. And I don't know if that's unique to a small town community newspaper, if that's unique to Lansing, but our reporters just hung in there and kept doing the work day after day after day throughout this past crazy pandemic year. If that was valuable to you while you were stuck indoors, or while you were wondering what was true and what was factual, I want to ask you for your financial support. There's going to be a button down below this video. This newspaper is free to read, but it's not free to produce. We pay our reporters for the work that they do. And when you give to the Lansing Journal, you are supporting local community journalism, local information, community information, and we could use your support. So I wanted to use this milestone to make that pitch, and please be generous. We appreciate your support. And now let's get back to our Friday Roundup, Josh. Thanks for giving me that time.
Absolutely, yeah. So in other news this week, we reported on the village board's ongoing efforts to set the new budget numbers for next year. And one of those interesting budget numbers for next year is money set aside for street resurfacing. And so interesting about this upcoming budget year is Rebuild Illinois capital plan is a state plan that started in 2019. And Lansing has been receiving financial installments from the state to go towards infrastructure type projects. The village board last Tuesday stated that they are planning to use roughly $930,000 go towards street resurfacing next year. Now, none of that comes from the general fund that Lansing is
it's like
using.
Free money.
Essentially, it is free money from the state. Yeah. So last year's street resurfacing plan, according to village engineer Jeff Pintar, had roughly $650,000 to work with. So now we're up to almost $300,000 more than that for this up and coming year. So that's exciting.
Streets are a hot topic in Lansing.
They are.
And $900,000 sounds like a lot of money, like we could get all the streets done for that amount of money, but they're expensive.
It actually translates Jeff Pintar said at the last meeting, it translates to roughly 2.5 to 3 miles worth of road. Compared to the 90 miles of road that are in Lansing, it puts it in perspective. It makes you realize how expensive it really is to maintain the streets.
Yeah. But the village has put together a pavement management assessment, so that we're not always just reacting to bad streets, but
Right.
we're maintaining all of the streets, which will save us money in the long run and give us better streets all around.
Yeah.
So if you want the details about that, I will put the link to that story below this video. Saturday's a big day in Lansing. We have 2 major events happening in Lansing this Saturday.
That's right. So Saturday morning, starting in the morning, you can visit any one of 81 households in Lansing that will be
81.
hosting a garage sale as part of the village-wide garage sale that's occurring
That's a
on
lot of
Saturday.
garage sales.
It's a lot of garage sales. So you bargain hunters out there, go on and get some deals, because there's going to be lots for the taking on Saturday.
How do I know where all these garage sales are, Josh?
Well, thanks for asking. In our story that you'll find linked below, there's a list of all the addresses that you could visit in Lansing. And if you are brave enough to visit all 81, let us know, because we will probably write a story about you.
That would be big news. 81 garage sales in one day.
So after you've done your garage sailing, by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, you can head over to Ridge Road.
Cruise night is coming back to Lansing. Let me be honest here, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm not a car person, and I never used to like cruise night
sure.
because it felt like an interruption. They're closing down Ridge Road,
Yeah.
and it always happened to be on a night where I had to get somewhere, and what are all these people doing here? But then in 2017, I actually reported on cruise night for the Lansing Journal, and I met the people who put together cruise night, and I walked up and down Ridge Road, and I talked to the car people, and I looked at the cars. A lot of it still doesn't make sense to me, but I could see how proud these people are of their cars, and car people are their own little community, and it was just fun to learn about that. So I'll put a link to that 2017 story in underneath this video too, so you can check that out. But also, another thing that I became aware of is Lansing's Cruise Night is one of the biggest in the area,
Yeah,
because we have such a nice downtown strip,
right.
and car people love that.
Yeah,
So we bring in people from all over. Yes, it's crowded, but these are people from out of town who are coming to Lansing. They're spending money here. They're enjoying our village. Businesses along Ridge Road, the smart ones set up booths and sell things to all of these visitors. So cruise night is good for Lansing. And whether or not you're a car person, you can appreciate the fact that cruise night is good for Lansing. So check it out this year. It's Saturday, starting around 6, but I think people start setting up way earlier than that.
that's right. Yeah, should be a fun event. Yeah, be sure to check out. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the next week of Phase 5 for our first full week of Phase 5.
Well done, Lansing. Congratulations.
Have a good weekend, everybody.